Empty stadium stands and auditorium aisles all speak to another issue stemming from the pandemic, declining revenue, largely from anticipated drops in enrollment. In April, President Bobby Robbins announced it would furlough most employees to help offset projected losses, estimated at $250 million.
Clearly, we're going to have to do some sort of furlough program. It'll probably be tiered.
After some revisions and multiple delays, the furlough program is now set to take effect August 10th. Students, faculty, and staff critical of the university's approach are making their voices heard through the Coalition of Academic Justice. The group formed days after furloughs were first proposed and counts several hundred supporters. Among them, journalism professor Celeste Gonzalez de Bustamante, who says the coalition wants administrators to reconsider furloughs and be more transparent about the reentry process. She says their efforts are having an effect.
Members of the Coalition for Academic Justice have met with the senior leadership, that is Liesl Folks, our provost, and the chief financial officer, Lisa Rolney. We've met with them. We plan to meet with them again. Another good thing that has come out of this whole process is an ad hoc committee that has been formed. It's called the General Faculty Financial Advisory Committee that was formed just a few weeks ago. And they're in practically everyday negotiations with the senior leadership on hopefully coming up with a much better plan than the plan that we have right now.
There have been reports of layoffs, and of course, we know the university issued a furlough plan. Has the coalition offered any sort of alternatives to that would make this work for the staff on campus?
Sure. The Coalition for Academic Justice came up with its own alternative furlough plan, and that alternative furlough plan was meant to sort of get the discussion going, so that we could come up with a more comprehensive, compassionate plan that would take away some of the burden that's being placed solely on employees. And then there are other besides the coalition. For example, the Eller College of Business has also issued an alternative plan that looks at some creative ways to take out loans that would lessen the burden, again, on employees that are really carrying the brunt of trying to meet this shortfall right now.
The current furlough plan impacts 7,500 positions and saves about $70 million. The university's Office of Business Affairs says since March, senior leaders have had more than 100 meetings with various groups on campus to discuss their ideas. On August 3rd, the Faculty Senate will propose additional revisions that administrators will consider before furloughs take effect. But the coalition's concerns also include the potential risks of returning to campus too soon. The Coalition for Academic Justice issued a survey, and it found that 2/3 of the respondents don't feel safe coming back to campus. What are you hearing from the people that this would affect?
We're hearing from graduate students, faculty, staff members, that if we were all to come back, even as President Robbins had said about a week ago, if 20,000 of us were to come back, there's great concern of people being exposed to the virus, COVID-19, and that's not a good plan. It's possibly putting people's lives at risk. For what reason? Why can't we have a more sort of a public health plan, or a plan that really puts public health as the priority? And we are encouraged by this new staged plan that's been announced a couple days ago. But what we're concerned about with that plan is it's still not clear exactly how we're going to move from one phase to the next, what metrics are going to be used. Again, getting back to the transparency issue, the university really needs to be transparent about what kinds of metrics are going to be used. Is it going to be based on county data, statewide data, the Johns Hopkins reports? We're just unclear about that right now.
The U of A has said that with reduced amounts of people on campus, increased in testing and tracing, and increased sanitation measures, that they're hopeful that that would create a safe enough environment. Given those items, when do you think that yourself and members of the coalition will feel safe enough to return to campus?
I mean, that's the thing about COVID-19. It's creating this very uncertain environment, right? What we're concerned about is 6,000 or so students going and living in the dorms. They might be taking classes online, but they're not going to be just staying in their dorms. And in fact, if they are just staying in their dorms, that could be a problem as well, right? And then we've also been hearing that some faculty and staff are feeling in a position that they have to come back for a variety of reasons. We even know of staff who are being told that their jobs will not exist if they don't come back face to face. So these are, some of the concerns that we have.